Hi friends, this is Prem. I know today morning is not the usual morning for everyone, particularly who is depends on the EADs. A lot of questions and queries are coming to our YouTube, Instagram and Facebook after DHS published on the Federal Register effective from tomorrow. There is no automatic revaluation for EADs. So the question started, who are all going to impact? There are so many EADs. There is H4 EAD, Green Card EADs and Student STEM OPD EADs and L2 EADs. So who are all going to impact from these policy changes and what is the best recommendation for the visa holders? And we are going to address this question with the immigration attorney. Today we are going to introduce law firm Manifest Law Firm, who is one of the leading immigration law firm in the USA, and they are providing the free consultation to all our viewers. We have the link on the description and the pinned comment. Just click the link and provide your details and schedule the time. It's totally free. So you can get all the answers for your queries, and you have so many concerns on the visas, EADs and whatever things you have. You get the best recommendation from them. And let's go to the video and ask all the questions to the immigration attorney itself. And as I mentioned in the intro, today we have Henry, one of the topmost immigration attorney in the USA, and we have the Manifest Law Firm, and they are offering a best benefit for you. They are giving the free consultation, and thanks for that, and thanks for your time, Henry.
My pleasure, absolutely. It's good to be here, and I'm happy to answer any questions and provide information about this new rule and anything else people want to know about.
Today morning is so hot during the fall because the news is like that. When I open my laptop, lot of comments from the people on the YouTube and Instagram, and most of the comments is like this, and our questions are based on their comments, the people's comments only. Can you give me overview to the viewers before going to the question?
Today, DHS and USCIS, they surprised everybody by posting a notice on the USCIS website that a new rule will be coming into effect tomorrow about the EAD card. So many people in the US are working with an EAD card. That's an employment authorization document. And most of the different EAD categories, if your EAD is expiring, as long as you submit the application for an extension, then it automatically allows you to keep working while USCIS is processing that extension. And everybody's used to that it doesn't stop you from working, even if the government takes longer. And now, surprise to everybody, USCIS is basically saying that that's not going to be the case anymore. Now, if your EAD has expired and the new EAD extension has not been approved yet, then you are not allowed to work anymore. So that's going to be a big disruptor for many families who are relying on these EADs to be able to keep working.
Exactly. So you said from tomorrow, effective from tomorrow, October 30th, right?
Correct. In effect, really, it impacts most people immediately because there's nothing they can do today. But there are some people who can do something today. So, for example, if you are an asylum applicant, if you are waiting for your asylum and you have an EAD card that is expiring in the next 6 months, you can go online today to myuscis.gov and apply for an EAD extension electronically from the myuscis website. But if you are an H4, for example, with working here as an H4 on an EAD when your spouse is on an H1B visa, you cannot file online. It's only a paper application. And that means if you put it in the mail today, the earliest you can send it in is tomorrow, and that's going to be too late already, unfortunately.
Exactly. So the H4 EAD, no hope. So it's already done. I can understand.
Exactly.
So what will happen if someone is already utilizing this automatic revalidation rule? Say example, they might apply the extension on last month. They got I-94 up. They were using this rule. So whether this policy change will impact them?
No. The new policy change does not work back in time. So if you are already currently with an expired EAD and a pending extension, and you have these I-797 receipt notice showing that you have a pending case, you can continue working and there is no disruption. You do not lose your work authorization.
Okay, at least that is some good news for already facing the automatic revalidation rule. So we are talking about asylum and we talked about H4 EAD. I believe this policy won't impact the L2 visa holders, because the L2 visa holders currently have the policy saying like if you have I-94 valid, you can start working without EAD. So there is no impact for the L2 visa holders, right?
Correct. The L2 is a little bit of a strange one where if you are the spouse of an L1, you are authorized to work, but also you have the option of applying for an EAD card. Some people just prefer to have the EAD because it's an easier document to show the employer about the work authorization. But in reality, you don't need it, so most people don't even apply for it. So even though this rule does impact the EAD processing for L2s, it does not impact their underlying authorization to work. So if you are one of those few people on an L2 who also has an EAD, you don't get an automatic extension on the EAD. But if you are subject to this limit on the automatic extension, what it means is the company would have to redo the I-9 form and record the I-94 that you mentioned, because the I-94 does prove that they are authorized to work.
Yeah, that's a good news. But if you are using L2 and if you are using the EAD card and it is going to expire, please change your I-9 to the I-94. That is the easiest document where you don't want to worry about this rule. Yeah, thanks. And when we talk about the EADs, definitely the next thing will come in the mind for student visa, OPT, EADs. So is there any impact for them?
As best as I can tell right now from having read the proposed rule and looking at the different regulations, I understand that the OPT process is not impacted. So it's a separate section of the law that they are changing, and a different section that mentions that OPT can get an automatic extension when they are applying for the STEM OPT extension. So right now, even if you don't do it today, but if you do it next week when the new rule is in effect, as long as you file for your STEM OPT extension before the regular OPT period is over, you are still eligible for that automatic 180 days extension. So students don't need to panic, don't need to file with premium processing. They can just continue doing what they were planning to do. Just make sure you file before your regular OPT period ends, so that there's no gap.
Cool. That is some sort of good news for the student visa. So what is the current processing time for H4 EAD? Just like high level estimates.
There are some categories that go as short as 2 or 3 months with regular processing, but there are also some categories where we've now seen reports of 11 months. So it really depends on what is the category. The one place where I see things starting to take longer and longer is, for example, people who are applying for adjustment of status, right? So they are waiting for their green card and they have that adjustment of status EAD. That's the one where processing time seems to be getting longer. And the second one I see is the H4 EAD. That's also the unfortunate one that, if you remember, previously, if an H4 applied with the H1B spouse at the same time, then USCIS would package everything into a premium process and do the H4 EAD, everything at the same time. Now it's chaos for them because it's, again, everything is separated with different timelines and there's no premium processing for the H4 EAD. So I think that the most pain is going to be for families with H4 EADs who have jobs. That's going to be very, very difficult time for them.
Yeah, you brought the correct point, Henry, because I am about to ask that one. Because during January, that Edkani statement, they stopped it and there is no more bundling with the premium. But in case, if someone sending us a bundle as a premium process today, H4 EAD, H1B, is there any edge case the EAD will process faster manner, or it's just like a regular manner only?
Anecdotally, I can say that I've seen some cases that go faster, but usually not within that premium processing timeline. So I would say it's not something that I would count on, but does make things maybe a little bit easier for USCIS if everything goes in at the same time. So if it is possible to put one package, one bundle, then maybe that just makes it easier for the officers and that reduces some of the administrative burden for them. But they are not obligated to process the H4 EAD in the same 15 business days that they have to process the I-129 for the H-1B applicant. So, but it might speed up things a little bit.
Yeah, that is something promising because, yeah, I know. So there is no obligation to complete it within a time frame because USCIS didn't promise anything, but it will help some people to move some, even if it's a 1 month also, it's a big win, I believe. So that's a good thing you said. And you mentioned about the green card EADs. I forgot to ask, is there any impact on the green card EADs?
Yes, the green card EAD is also on the list of categories where there will be no more automatic extension. And I think that it's the worst thing for Indians who are stuck with an adjustment. You probably know many of these people who applied for a green card and then the priority date retrogressed, and now they've been stuck on the green card process for 3 or 5 years with a pending adjustment of status. That means most likely some of those EADs are going to start expiring and they need to be renewed. So the best advice I have for somebody in that category would be watch when your EAD is expiring. The earliest you can file for an extension is 180 days before it expires. So put a calendar date for 190 days before or 200 days before. And as soon as you are close to that 180, apply for an extension right away. Because like I said, the green card EAD processing times have been increasing. So even if you file 6 months in advance, there is some risk that maybe USCIS doesn't process all of those cases in time. And that could result in people having to stop work.
Yeah, it's a very good advice, Henry, because I got shocked when you said the green card EADs, because I thought green card EADs is not on these categories, but really it's a shocking news. Because if you are taking the H1B and H4s, H1B mostly on the primary and H4 is a dependent who is working on EADs. If they have the job loss, still H1B can support the entire family. But in this case, adjustment of status EADs, even the primary is under the EADs, and if there is a job loss, it's a very big loss for the family. Oh my God.
Absolutely. For example, I've known many people who have an H1B and then they file for the adjustment of status. And because they get the EAD from the adjustment, they choose to no longer renew the H1B. Now, those people would think, oh, if I only had kept my H1B, because that would have been an additional work authorization as a backup plan. But if you're only on the EAD now, there might be a gap if USCIS doesn't process the extension fast enough.
We have discussed a lot of things, and you may have questions or any concerns. And it's very subjective, so please contact the manifest form, and they are giving a free consultation. Their contacts on the description and the pin comments on your screen also. So just contact, you can get the more clarification. Thanks, Henry. And I have one more question, because you said a lot of time frames, right? Even green card EADs, you said the 11 months, and the regular EADs might be less than 6 months. What is the good time period if someone is in H4 EAD and it is going to expire, say example, October 2026? What is the earliest time they can apply?
6 months before expiration. Specifically, the regulations say 180 days. So that means if your EAD is expiring in October of 2026, let's go back 6 months from that. So we're talking about April 2026 is when you can file the EAD application to extend the status. But with an H4, of course, the difficulty of applying early is that you also have to show that you have the H4 status longer than October 2026. So you have to submit also your H4 extension as well, and that means that you have to very carefully time what is the H1B status and how long is that active for. Previously, for example, H1Bs have not done their extensions with premium processing because the H1B can get an automatic extension, and the company says we don't need to do premium because you can continue working. But now, in that situation, you might actually want to even pay yourself the premium processing fee if the company is not willing to do it, just so you could get your I-94 faster, and then you can use that for your spouse's H4 and H4 EAD.
That is a very good point. Why we need the premium at this point? Because H1B approval is very, very must for H4 approval, and H4 approval I-94 is very, very must for the EAD. So everything is interconnected. Yeah, you very.
Yeah, it's like 4D chess game, the U.S. immigration system for many immigrant families.
Correct. Yeah, that is a very good information. So people, time is very precious now. So don't wait for too much time, and just 6 months, as Henry said, just clock your calendar and just apply everything as a bundle as much as possible, and it's in premium. So you can check with them also, but that is a recommendation from Henry. We got it. So Henry, do you think is there any lawsuit against these policy changes? Is it possible?
I think lawsuits are coming, and there is some possibility that this is going to be stopped. And the reason is this: normally, when some new regulation is coming out, there's a law passed by Congress called the Administrative Procedures Act, the APA. The APA sets the process what the government has to do when they want to do a new rule or a new policy like this. There is supposed to be first a publication of the proposed rule, and then there's supposed to be a public comment period. Whereas in this situation, they didn't wait for any comment period. They just basically published it today, saying that starting tomorrow there's going to be a new rule. They don't give people a head notice. They don't give us a chance to provide our feedback or comments on it or any of it. And the justification in the rule is that they're saying this is an urgent situation, that too many people are getting authorization to work without the proper security and background checks being completed. And that is what they use as their excuse for doing this update. It's not so clear cut whether this is okay or not. But I think it's possible that some judges would agree with applicants and saying that, no, you should have had the rule, the comment period. You should have given people more of a time to prepare for this new rule rather than rushing it. Anytime they rush it, there's a chance that the courts will knock it down and say that, no, this is not an emergency enough for justifying the rush.
That is at least something that people can feel relaxed. But yeah, from tomorrow, that is seriously, today is like a very hard day for so many people, because at the last time they don't know what to do, if they are going to expire in next month or in 2 months, because they don't have the enough time to get it, the I-94 and the EAD got approved. Thank you so much for your time, Henry, and you just explained it very well, and you just give the recommendation to a lot of people and what should they do if it is going to expire. Thank you so much, Henry, and thank you so much, Manifest team. It is a good discussion, and you have given a free consultation to our viewers. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for your time, and pleasure to be here.